Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 4 with Black Ice 8. We are of course playing as Germany, so let's keep this going. Okay, now that we are there, we're going to pause, reduce speed now that we have actively intervened in the Spanish Civil War.
Ausrücken!
Will help the march to Barcelona.
Ausrücken!
Ah, General Weber. Oh, that's a photo from Hess's aircraft crash.
Zuhören! Zuhören! Achtung!
There we go. Don't know why it wasn't moving first. Okay. Still in 36. Really sort of waiting for this to... We can do this one. Okay, good. Yeah. No, there's nothing we need here. I'm gonna get some research bonuses for those, so... Oh, I meant to click there. These buttons are maybe a little too close. They could stagger them or something, I don't know. Okay, we have... Prop, which is doing that. We don't have any air. Well, this is going to be an intermediate or early stage aircraft, so we will start researching that. We may build a few, but won't matter so much compared to later on.
Vorrücken!
Well, we are attacking into the mountains. Close quarters attack versus close quarters defense. Are they leaving Barcelona entirely open? Oh, now they're moving towards it. Okay, defend.
Ausrücken!
Well, they're crushing the Reds down there too, so that's good.
Ausrücken!
Crush this unit. Try to send that to reinforce somewhere else.
Ausrücken! Ausrücken!
They've got some militia backup, Vantoma does. Schmeling KOs Lewis. Stop that attack. Here.
Ausrücken!
Attack there. Out in the plains, so that'll be better for our tanks, of course. We're gonna then come around. Try to encircle this better. Oh, they folded. Okay, well. Notice that this turns to the German flag while it's heading back. While we are doing that now. We're going to come on. Modify Lend-Lease. So we're going to cancel all of these. You're no longer at war, so we're going to cancel the Lend-Lease. We improved our relations somewhat there. So that helped. Okay, pre-war light vehicle and recon infantry equipment. Now, I think the recon infantry equipment may be something worth improving. Higher quality. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, down here. Yeah, it's the same cost, so might as well get better equipment. Now, I'm still using all my factories to build a few more factories before we start importing, so we're still at a negative viewpoint for some of the units. Some of the equipment types. Okay, construction. Got another one I'm waiting for. I wanted to get this, which will increase our resource gain. And an industrial effort, 1936, which will also massively increase our resources. Look at all that oil in Hanover. Okay, well, we're going to do the west wall fortifications, but just not yet. I don't know that that's really helping us much. Just checking to make sure that any of these happen in, 10 days or something. Events, or I mean national focuses have been done. Okay, that would happen pretty quick. We'll get von Brauhitsch and the ability to research land doctrines. That'll get us 2 additional aircraft factories, which is nice. Research some battlefield support doctrines. I'm going to go with this one first because it's quicker. And now we can do more government. Okay, well, Speer, well, we're not converting any factories yet. Well, construction speed. Okay, this is a bit different than standard, which probably should be for its small arms and ammunition factory speeds. Okay. But so that is about everything else. Production speed, but we're not producing any of those yet. Guderian is a favorite of mine, not just because he's a great general, but I like the army experience gain early on and the land research doctrine bonuses and such. But I'm also thinking about, do we want to very quickly here? I think we're going to want to research 36 and 37. Well, before we get to the Condor, that should be interesting having that. I'm looking to see if they have some of the other, because if you watch my other series, many of them, I'm a big fan of naval bombers. Looking for some of the other German naval bomber types. I know we have currently in production, or we can produce or have in production, the 59. There were several other decent naval bombers. They weren't very long range things, but we have one factory down here doing very little production, almost 2 a month, but that's because we don't have any resources for them. Now that we have much more oil, let's take a look here. We're powering through these submarines one at a time. That'll get through. I was going to do a little more. Want to get the stuff that has been partially built. Get those done and out. Or significantly built. Okay, well. No, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this. Put those to the bottom. Get some destroyers going. Power through them quickly. But let's also move that up to the top, which will make sure it has resources. which will go to more than 2 a month as it builds up speed here. Still not enough rubber, but we'll get some rubber coming in for that. So yeah, so let's see about, let's do put in Messerschmitt. As you can see here, it only helps specific aircraft types, and all air research bonus by 10%, but it only helps particular types have that in effect. So we want to be changing that around a fair amount. Oh, okay, well, I guess so. The main reason I haven't organized my army like I've done the SS is that it's going to be changing so much. I don't need to keep redoing it. Because this, and I specifically said SS because this is not just the Waffen SS. Right now this is probably these two, the VT are the Waffen. The Leibstandart is armed, but it's not under the Waffen SS. It's still sort of personal bodyguard, and of course the TK are the concentration camp guards, but it's more than that too. They were other sort of police type enforcement elements as well. I mean, they all carried rifles, but they weren't necessarily combat troops really. Okay, flamethrower squads and dive bombing and dispersed industry. Okay, like those. That would be the flamethrower squads, but let's go over here and add the 110 to the production cycle, or to the research cycle. Now, I want to do that. We'll wait on that. Land fort construction speed. I don't plan on building much of those. Entrenchment speed, yeah, it's useful, but it's not a critical early research. It just, when you get something specifically like this that gives a bonus to research time, you want to do it as early as possible so it's magnified out through the game. Something like this, entrenchment speed for equipment, for units. If you're not fighting a war for 3 years, it doesn't matter right now. Where if we can improve our production time earlier on, that will have greater magnification as time goes on. Well, everybody's using artillery, so we'll also do the artillery workshops. It's different playing this because I've played
Ihre Befehle? Ausrücken!
Okay, Turkish Straits question. Sorry, interrupting myself here. The zone around the Bosphorus and the Dardanelles has been demilitarized by the Lausanne Treaty, yet this important region may fall into the wrong hands in its current state. It is better to let the Turkish have full sovereignty there. Okay, well, I guess it's warning about Soviet control. That's what that. I guess that image is sort of kind of mean. I guess, I don't know, since we are, not any, we're still somewhat, no one pays attention to us. Germany, we don't have a say in that. But, so I'm so used to playing formulaic with Germany here, with played it so many times now in 1936, playing it with Black Ice, and I have played past 36, but not a whole lot past 36. Well, let's speed up the clock again. No longer messing around in Spain. So formulaic for me, but now with Black Ice, like I said, I did through one just so I sort of kind of know what to at least somewhat expect on some of these early events, like to know what to wait for a benefit to happen for research and what to just go ahead and research. So did a little of that, but it's a different game. You've got to get used to a different way of going. Okay, yes, the German Olympics. Now look at 18 here. Yeah, nothing. That should really bring down world tension, in my opinion. And that's how I coded Third Reich events, to have the different Olympics to bring down some world tension. Okay, we got our briefly used
Achtung!
Panzer Force. Now we're going to create a new theater because he's not going to be in there. Let's, since this is a multi-corps force eventually, we'll call it our Panzer Army, which he's the first unit of. Let's add to this. Gutarians group. So now we have 2 units there. Okay, Vermont focus completed. Great. So now we can do those. Craig's Marine. That's only 56 days, so we're going to go with that as well, because that will get us more naval dockyards quickly and early. We are not planning a major naval war early on, at least. We'll see how the campaign goes. I want to get to you now. Get to radios operating. Don't know if any of you have ever listened to old-time radio. You can get the stuff. There's a bunch of online shows, stuff. One thing I did more than 10 years ago now, I listened to a bunch of The Shadow. And I may have seen the movie with that nutty lefty guy, which is actually a good movie, but and some of the different Shadow stuff. But it was a very interesting radio program, and it was made back in like 1936 in this time period, and how they were dealing with radio, and how he or one of his operatives or something sort of out in the countryside, and he pulls the car over and opens up the old style car with some sort of trunk in it, and there's this radio device in there, and he's stringing up antennas to trees and all this kind of stuff, and that it was super high-tech fancy because it was a two-way radio, but it took up a full big trunk thingy on the back of the car, compared to what we have today, or compared to even the simplified backpack radios at the end of the war, how much it changed from this through this period. Okay, the Deutsches Colonial Kriegersbund. Once the Germans took over the once the National Socialists took over the German government, all of the veterans organizations, and there were a plethora of them out there, and the I'm trying to too many to remember, but there's the Reichskriegersbund, Christhauser was sort of the main, or what was formed in with the main sort of conservative elements of it. Because there were left-wing radical ones, there were centrist ones, there were just local ones or whatever. They were all put into this one organization, and it became, and this was sort of somewhat renamed because obviously the NS at the starting of it is National Socialist. So that they were all, the RKB was how it was often, and it was even before the Nazis came to power, the Reichskriegersbund, was all put under this one organization and all standardized. It was all National Socialized, and although they still sort of had their distinctive veterans uniforms and things, they all got swastikas put on. The one exception was the Deutsches Kolonialkriegersbund, the DKKB. It was technically under the RKB, but it basically operated independently. Yeah, it was somewhat National Socialized in some of its dealings, but you didn't need to. It wasn't nearly as much. It was more of, if you wanted to be sort of wear a swastika armband or something like that, you could, but you didn't need to. You could still sort of stand aloof and apart from the National Socialization of things. And basically it's all because of this man, Letter von Bobeck, the general who won in Tanganyika in World War I. He was not a Nazi. He did not like Hitler, but he was a massive national hero. Not an expert, but there were several massive surviving national heroes after World War I. And I'm not so much talking about like Hindenburg and Ludendorff, the guys at the very top, because obviously most all those survived. Talking, the Red Baron, obviously he died. But another pilot hero, which wasn't really necessarily liked by a lot of his comrades, but really sort of became the hero, of course, was Hermann Göring. He was the last guy, I think, in charge of the flying circus, the Red Baron's old outfit. So that was part of the reason the popularity of the Nazis grew so much, is that they had this wartime hero as a leading member of it. Well, von Bobeck, or Vorbeck, it's Letter, if I have it right, it's Letter von Vorbeck, or whatever. I may be messing that up a bit, but since he was basically undefeated down in Tanganyika and surrendered only after the armistice, and he was still generally operating in the field in a sort of guerrilla campaign situation, that he wasn't holding out all of the German territory, but his army was attacked and he was fighting. He was sort of a untouchable that the Nazis couldn't touch, especially since he was not a left-wing person. He was a conservative, sort of in the old Kaiserreich style conservative guy. So he and his organization were largely isolated here. Now, we have two choices. One choice here, basically, costs too much. The organization still exists, but you won't necessarily get some other benefits later on, or you can pay your 20 political power points, since we no longer have money or supplies in the game, which was the old cost in this. So I sort of like the political power point, but I also sort of like the money and the supplies as well. I would mix them. So we're going to spend the political power points on that, and that will help us later on. Okay, now we're still in 36, so we're still just building factories, but we built enough so that I want to now step up. Okay, let's do one each of those that we need. Won't meet all of our needs, but we'll meet some. Okay, now who do we want to get a rubber from? Let's get it from the Netherlands, because if they start building factories, hopefully there, we'll be able to conquer them and use them later. I keep that in mind as to who we're getting stuff from. Why am I blanking and not seeing Romania here? Oil. United States, Mexico, Venezuela, Peru, Chile, Romania. Oh, okay. It's because Romania doesn't like us very much right now, so we have very little trading opportunities with them. It's a really interesting mechanic, and I've looked at it. There's a trade opinion modifiers in the game that are different than just the regular opinion modifiers, so that you can make, though they are somewhat interconnected, so you can artificially make a country hate you trade-wise but like you otherwise. So it's a very interesting thing to play with, and I don't know if they've specifically done that here at this stage to keep us from being able to have access to a lot of oil from the Kingdom of Romania. Well, we're going to go with Iran, just aid it a moment. That way we can hopefully build up good relations, and trade with them should be building up some good relations. Different ideology maybe is keeping the effect from happening better. Don't know. Okay, artillery workshops and tank workshops. That is good. Yeah, let's do truck. And bomber. Get some of our infrastructure down. Okay, yes, we want to create the additional divisions.
Achtung!
They've already filled out with equipment. Good. No longer okay for the arm shipment. Fine. Well, we're going to end the episode here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking the videos, and it's really helpful if you go on, whether it's the Black Ice forum or somewhere else. There, just tell people that you're enjoying this series, because of course I can go and announce it, but if somebody else says they like it, that does significantly make greater impact on people, and the more people we get watching this, the more there is going to be of it. Thanks so much. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.